We're back from the combine doing 3-round mock drafts for every team in the NFL. We're to number 3 with the New York Giants. If you read the tea leaves and really pay attention, this is one of the easiest picks in this mock to figure out. You might not like it. This is where it's headed as we sit right now. I'm Jeremy Green of ESPN Radio Asheville and the Sportsocracy, along with NFLDraft.net, and this is a 3-round mock draft for the New York Giants.
Ain't no truth on the radio station. Somebody owes me an explanation. Well, I get knocked down, I get back up.
The Sportsocracy.
And I'm unapologetic.
Look, if you pay attention to the Giants, you know that Brian Daboll and Joe Shane have one foot in the grave and one foot on a banana peel. So how exactly do they keep their jobs? Which, by the way, is what these two guys are trying to do, and the brain trust that's making this pick. How do you do that? They tried with Matthew Stafford because that was the best quarterback they could possibly have gotten in this building. That didn't work. Rams ponied up. They figured it out. He went skiing, didn't go skiing. Whatever. I don't know exactly what happened. I just know Jordan Schultz and Ian Rappaport had the weirdest square off in the history of the media. That didn't work. Now you're talking about Aaron Rodgers. I'm a Jets fan. I'll go ahead and tell you, you don't want to do that. Russell Wilson, not with this receiving core. I can keep doing this with every veteran. This is not how you keep your job. You know how you keep your job? You look at a quarterback that seemingly nobody wants, except behind closed doors they do. And that's what I'm doing here at number 3 for the New York Giants. It's Shedeur Sanders, quarterback out of Colorado. Look, when this kid's clean, he's the best thrower in this class. He's hyper accurate, got great touch. He's not super athletic, but I don't know when that started being this end-all, be-all, absolutely worst thing in the world. I could name several really good quarterbacks right now that are not hyper-mobile. Joe Burrow is about Shedeur Sanders level mobile. He can run if he has to. Shedeur can do the same thing. He doesn't want to. The problem is where the tape really falls apart for Shedeur is when he's really rushed. Look at that pressure grade. 65.2 is not good. No pressure grade, 93.0. If you're the Giants, the way to keep your job, if you're Brian Daboll and Joe Shane, I know a lot of fans don't want them to, but this is what they're trying to do. Draft Shedeur Sanders, win 7 games this year, and be able to go to the Mara family and say, look, this is how we evolved this year. We have a quarterback. You don't want to put him in a new offense next year. You don't want to change things because we're building something here. That's the only way it's going to happen. And if I stood directly beside Shedeur Sanders at the combine. It was one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen in my life. The kid's wearing chains and talking to the media, and he doesn't seem to give a flying rat's ass what any of us thought about him. And that's when it hit me. The Giants' cleats. They've already told him this. They've already gone through the agent. They've already told him, we're taking you at 3. Nobody else is going to do it. You do whatever you want to. Just go be yourself. We're taking you at 3. Nothing else makes sense. Any agent in the world would have told him, do not do that in the media room. It was the biggest spectacle I've ever seen at the combine, and it sat really poorly with a lot of teams. You know what team I never heard it sat poorly or weird with? The Giants. You might not like it, but as of right now, unless something changes and another quarterback becomes available, this is where the Giants are headed at 3. Shedeur Sanders from Colorado. Now, how do you protect Shedeur? How do you get the most out of him? In this 3-round mock, they have number 34. They have number 65. And I know, Giant fans are not going to love this because you're going to have some angina from, didn't we do that one time before? At 34, I got to add to the offensive line. It's Tyler Booker, guard out of Alabama. And I'm sure heavy set Alabama offensive lineman gives you Evan Neal. I get it. The guards on this team are not good. You have to be able to run for Shedeur. It was one of the problems they had at Colorado is they couldn't do it consistently. If you go back and watch the Nebraska tape, you shit. Because Nebraska said, you're beating us by yourself, and he couldn't do it. Booker is one of those really polarizing prospects. A lot of people like him way better than I do. I don't get it. I think he's a good pass blocker. I think he fits very specific kinds of schemes. And the Giants so happen to be one of those. Here he falls into the second round. He is a plug-and-play, no doubt starter. I don't have any problem with that. Where I fall in is that you got to have somebody that can having him next to John Michael Schmitz, I think, can unlock some of that talent. I had Schmitz over Joe Tippmann, who the Jets drafted a few years ago. You just haven't seen that high side, and I think it's because the guard play is not very good, and Schmitz has had some injury issues. So I'm going to slide this kid in at guard. I haven't finished with the line, and there's another piece that I'm going to add that I think will make all of this make sense. Second round, Tyler Booker, guard out of Alabama. That was 34. You come back at 65, and I absolutely love this kid. And when you watch the tape, the numbers don't necessarily add up to the tape. Here are the third rounds. Ozzy Trapilo. I believe he's a right tackle. Some people think he's a guard. I have him at right tackle. Out of Boston College. Boston College blew Dead Bears last year. That's the nicest way I can say that. I'm also an ACC affiliate, so I get to see a lot of ACC games. But every time I watched them, I kept getting locked in on this offensive lineman that was just bullying guys on the outside. I get it. The ACC doesn't have the highest level of competition. Florida State was down. Clemson didn't necessarily have as many weapons as you're used to. I get it. They also didn't play Clemson. But if you go back and watch that Florida State tape, watch him against Michigan State, watch him against Syracuse, there were a few games where you looked at this kid and went, there's something in you if you just got into a system that made sense. Boston College had a quarterback, Thomas Castellanos, very short kid, 5'8", 5'9". Halfway through the year, Bill O'Brien just tapped out on him. Notice what happened to the game grades on Ozzy Trapilo when that happened. Also, the run block grade went through the floor. I believe this kid can be a really good starting right tackle in this league, and I think he can start off the jump. I saw him at the Senior Bowl and was absolutely dumbfounded that nobody was talking about him. Really good in the drills, really versatile, and it didn't matter where you put him. It also allows you to move Evan Neal to the bench where he belongs, to the other guard spot, to the swing tackle. It doesn't really matter. You just get that big lump of clay out of the lineup. Because if you put him on the right side and you put Shedeur Sanders behind that, you're going to get him killed. You may not love the fact that I went double up on offensive linemen here, but I think it's what you'd have to do. As for wide receiver, which trust me, I know somebody's going to ask that question. How are you going to address that? It's pretty simple. This is one of the deepest receiver drafts I've ever seen. There are still a ton of guys, and you can see right here on the board, Isaiah Bond's still there. Kyle Williams is still there. Isaac Tesla, who I really like. Jalen Lane, Deontay Thornton. There are a lot of receivers in this class. I can add another guy, use my dollars to potentially go get another free agent to build this offense around Shedeur Sanders. And I think that's where you're headed. New York Giants, I know you don't love it. And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. Shedeur Sanders, Tyler Booker, Ozzy Trapilo. As of right now, that is how I believe the New York Giants 2025 NFL Draft would go. If you like these picks, if you hate these picks, if you just want to call me a big mulleted dipshit, feel free. I answer all of those questions. If you have questions about a player, how they would fit with the Giants, go ahead and ask those in the comments. If you like this video, click the like button. It helps more than I could ever express. And subscribe to the channel. We will do 3 more sets of mock drafts. The next one is after the first wave of free agency. That is a 4-rounder. Then we will do 2 7-rounders in April with everything I'm hearing around the league as we get ready for the 2025 NFL Draft. And we will be there live right here on this YouTube channel, covering it live. Every pick from Radio Row in Titletown in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I'm Jeremy Green of NFLDraft.net and ESPN Radio Asheville, and this has been a 3-round mock draft for the New York Giants.
Ain't no truth on the radio station. Somebody owes me an explanation. Well, I get knocked down, I get back up.
The Sportsocracy